Welcome everyone to our culminating event of our 28th anniversary campaign and online auction. I am really excited to be sharing this space with you all this evening and to see all your faces, even though they're only in tiny little boxes. Tonight's call is the closing of our fundraising efforts. What was originally our annual gala, which would have been last night at the Taglion, we quickly shifted all our campaign efforts and programs to virtual platforms in response to COVID-19. So I'm going to bring up this screen just to share. So all this week we've been on Instagram Live, and it's been really wonderful to share our platform with some of our resident DJs of LA. So China, if you could pull up that screen. So it's really great to have Ale Cohen from Dublab. He spun on Monday. Novena Carmel from KCRW. Glenn Red from La Junta LA, and De Groove Me also from La Junta LA. So every night had a different vibe and different feel. I hope that you all enjoyed dancing in your living rooms and your kitchens. And it was also really great to share this with some of our staff, right? So Alma hosted last night, China hosted on Wednesday, Isabel hosted on Tuesday, and then I was with Ale on Monday evening. So there's that. Thanks, China. And you know, we couldn't postpone our campaign to a later in the year because this is our largest fundraising efforts for the year, and it's responsible for over 20% of our operating budget. And it's a tough balancing act, right, to campaign for an organization during a global pandemic. And I'm very sensitive to the unprecedented times, and this is why I'm so transparent about our fundraising efforts. Which brings me to all of you, because I want to thank each and every one of you for your support of Artworks LA during this time. I also want to thank some of our sponsors, some of who are on this call. So we have Sony, Netflix, Endeavor Education, KAA, the Kirkpatrick Family Foundation, Union Bank, as well as Skian and Company, Catherine Barger's office, as well as Mark Ridley-Thomas, Mark Leos, Ron Rosen, Fran Turpak, Sophia Waugh, and Mark Webb. And I also want to thank our contributors, all listed here thus far, and folks that are also participating in our online campaign. Thanks, China. So, as a nonprofit arts organization that works in the alternative education landscape and the juvenile justice system, we are still providing arts programming to our students across 7 districts in LA County. As a staff of 16, I am so proud that we have adjusted to working remotely and adapted to distance learning, right? 16 people. We are small, but oh my, we are so mighty. So I want to thank very much for the team that I get to work with every day. Thank you, Alma and Raul and Lupe and Fabricio and Caroline and Isabel, China, Stefan, Michael, Xochitl, Loren, Aya, Vanessa, Sean, and of course, Robert. I'm so grateful for each of you. And during our remote stay-at-home orders, I have to say I'm in awe of the way each person has a willingness and openness and adaptability. Creativity really does create solutions, and it's so apparent in the work that Artworks LA does every day. So I just want to give a little more detail into the current programming looks like in this landscape. So China, if you could go to our AtWorks homepage. This is really exciting, and hats off to everyone in programming for doing this part. So our Artworks at Home is a current blog. And Artworks LA, we acted early to help our students stay creative and engaged, whether it was facilitating Zoom workshops to students in Compton Unified or creating personalized YouTube messages with activities to forward to all our students. We are always adapting to our school partner needs and thus launched Artworks at Home, a collection of projects that students can do from wherever they are. And it was created, We continue to center this with sensitivity, fun, and depth in all the activities. For example, our theme with the Skirball Cultural Center around building communities through rituals of care especially resonates now. And students can explore this theme with tableau exercises, making gifts online, and more. And a special thanks to our Artworks LA staff who worked really hard to make sure that our content has video, text, and images that address multiple ways of online learning. So this is also on our homepage, so you guys can check this out and do some of these activities either by yourself or with some folks that you may be at home with. So tonight, during this call, we'd like to set up a goal for fundraising so that everyone can participate. As I'm sure you have received multiple messages from Artworks LA, this is also the closing of our auction. So our auction closes tonight at 9 p.m. And you can scroll, it's fine. I don't mind if you leave us for a second to go check out the auction items that are still available to be a part of that. Or you can donate directly to us, and we'll put the link up in the chat so you can see that as well. So tonight we would like to share a few short films with you and have a chance to hear from our students. I've muted you all, but feel free to use the chat function, like I said, to leave comments or ask questions or just send a little love in someone's direction. Thank you. So you can text AWXLA28 to 76278 to donate or bid on an auction item. So with that, we're gonna go to our first film, which is our campaign video for this new platform that we created in just a few weeks ago. So China, I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Some of the strategies that we have to encourage engagement and participation with our students, I would say, is from the start of any given session to want to encourage a sense of community. So that sometimes is lighthearted icebreakers at the beginning of the class. Sometimes that's doing collaborative, like one-day projects up front so that there are these relationships starting to be formed and a sense of, again, kind of responsibility.
One of the things I appreciate the most about Artworks LA is that this organization attracts really the best people. I have worked with some people, I'm just amazed by. I admire their work, and then I get to work in the classroom with them, and I admire their humanity.
Being in front of the cameras as the actor, like one of the main characters now, is like, it feels really good. It feels like you can take control of what you're gonna do. People are gonna help you, like, you know, they're gonna help you come out of your shell. Like, people are here for you, you know? My name is Allison Peck. I've been a teacher for about 10 years, and I've been with Artworks LA for, say, a year and a half now. I feel like teaching is really important to my practice. It really revives the art that I do as well. And it's extremely rewarding to see the transformation that happens with the students over the course of just 10 weeks. It's been really incredible to work with Artworks LA over the past couple of years. They're unlike any nonprofit that I've worked with in the past, in that there's the level of support and commitment.
One of the benefits of the coordinator's position, being someone who stays at the school year-round, is that I can get to know the students on a longer-term basis. So that way I can, for one, be able to talk to them one-on-one, but also if I know if there's any special needs for a particular student.
I think the programs that they bring into all of these different educational settings are so valuable. There's so much an invitation for students to feel more confident in who they are as a storyteller, as an artist, or just validating that their lived experience matters.
Thank you, and thanks. I have to thank China. She's on the back end handling all of our tech. So thank you, China. Yeah, so that's why we're here today. So I also, I'm really excited. We have Yeti, who is one of our alum students joining us today. And about 4 months ago, we did a short film with Yeti. So we want to share that film, and then I'm going to do a little Q&A with Yeti. As you're watching the film, feel free to put some questions for Yeti in the chat as well. So we'll flip over to that one. Everyone good? Gonna get a thumbs up? Nice, thanks.
I went to Utah, and then we came back here again, and then we'll just move to Vegas and then come back and move again and come back. Yeah, so it was pretty tough. I was always like the new girl, so it was hard for me to make friends. I sort of felt alone. Art has been pretty big in my life. I just didn't know how to develop it until artworks and I decided to do fashion and art, and then I painted a mural. I think artworks in my school has boosted a lot of people's self-esteem. They're sort of like the little push that a student needs to get out of their comfort zone. There's a lot of talented kids, and it would be really nice to see people show it through art. I started doing my embroidery art because of my grandma. She recently passed away. Every time I'm doing a piece, it reminds me of my grandma, so it's really sort of emotional. I know that she left me a really nice gift. Before she passed, she was like so excited about my art. She's a big inspiration. I think art is important because it shows who you are, and it's just something that maybe the world needs.
Thank you. So can we give a round of applause? Because I'm going to actually unmute Yeti, who is here with us today. Oh, I wish you guys could hear her, or she could hear you. Thank you. So Yeti is not only an alum of the Artworks LA program. Last year, she served on the board as our alum representative. She's currently enrolled in college, and she is also one of our featured artists in our auction. So if you are interested in one of Yeti's pieces, she actually has 5 pieces in. It's auction item number 210, 211, 12, and 13, as well as 314 and 315. Yeti's been making amazing work for the last couple years, and I'm a little jealous because every year someone outbids me for one of her pieces. So don't mind me if I go off screen to try to get one this year. Yeti, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm holding up with all that's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Just quickly, like, how have you adapted school-wise in terms of staying at home? What's that look like for you recently?
Definitely a little bit tough. I am taking online classes. I'm taking about 3 classes and my soccer class, but we can't really do much for that class. It's a different environment. Well, for me personally, I learn better if I'm in a classroom instead of just doing work online. But I got the hang of it, and it's been getting easier every time. But yeah, it's been going good.
Good. So I just want to take a moment. I know you've been out of the Artworks LA, in-school program for about 2 years now. But can you think back and maybe reflect on what are some of the things or the skills that you've learned that you're still using today?
Yeah, well, the skills that I have learned are, um, I have learned a lot from artworks, but mainly from the workshops that we would go to on Wednesdays. Um, and they really helped me a lot. For example, I did not know how to write a letter to my professors, and they taught me how to do that. They taught us how to build a resume. They taught us a lot of things. They also would always, every time we would go, they would always put a video, like a motivational video of different things, whether it was how to speak to someone, how to get out of your shell, how to use words differently. Um, and it was just something that I really appreciated because, I mean, coming from my parents, they don't speak English. I can't really go to them because they don't know my situation. They never went to school here, never really did any of the stuff that I'm doing. So it was really helpful. It was a great source. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually have, well, I want to ask you this question first, and then I'm going to ask some of the questions that are in the chat as well. So just also as we're sort of reflecting, do you remember what it was? Because we were going, your first work with Artworks LA is we were in your school, right? But you went on to do multiple workshops and residencies outside of just the in-school. So what was it that gave you that push to take that chance? Because that was you, you know, to take on more work through Artworks LA. So can you remember what was it that gave you that next like nudge or push?
Yeah, my teacher, Miss Casuso, she was the one that really pushed me to go to all the workshops. In the beginning, I wasn't really into it. I was just doing my work and not really paying attention. But after a while, I think it was a week or 2 weeks into the workshop, I still didn't go, but I had a friend. Her name was Catherine, and she was in a visual arts program, and she told me it was really good, and she just basically gave me all the details, and I kind of, I don't know, I just wanted to push myself, and I was already almost done with school. I was ahead on credits, and I didn't have anything else to do, and I knew that once I was done with school, I didn't know what I was really gonna do. I knew I wanted to play soccer, but I didn't know what I was actually passionate about. Um, I did know that I really liked to work on my art pieces, but I didn't really know that I had that talent in me until, well, I went to artworks, and yeah, I'm really grateful for Miss Casuso because she would always push me, and she would always tell me, "Oh, there's this new workshop coming up," and I'll be like, "No, I don't want to go," and I would end up going anyways to every single workshop, and I think it was something really positive that she did because she was always encouraging not only me but every other student in her class.
Nice. Yeah. We love having Miss Casuso as one of our partners. It's really great. I want to go over here to the chat, Yaretsi, because you have a few comments. Raul asked, how long does it take you to make one of your pieces, especially like the needlework that are in the auction?
Yeah, so those take about a week, or well, with the quarantine going on, it took me about 3 days. But if I have school and soccer practice, it would take me about a week. Um, Other bigger pieces that I'm working on, they have taken about probably 6 months, and I'm still not done with them.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just big pieces that I'm working on, that I have in mind. My clothing, I can do those in 2 days. Yeah. Yeah, so I would say about a week, and if it just all depends on how big the piece is and the details and everything else.
Nice. Lisa says that she's so lucky to get a beautiful work from Yeti. She has the Frida Kahlo
Oh
needlepoint
yes,
portrait.
I remember.
Yeah. And Fabricio asks, what inspires you? Like where do you draw your inspiration to create your pieces?
Yeah, so I do obviously my grandmother, she passed away, so that she inspired me to make more clothes because that was what she did. She did teach me embroidery, but I think I took a further step in that. But what really inspires me is I don't know, I think music. I always listen to music and then I think, oh, well, I want to make this piece. Or also, there is a piece that I'm working on that is a Vincent Van Gogh piece. And I just want to like, I know those pieces are really expensive, so I would like to bring a piece, um, make it my own, and then sell it for not such a high price. I know the worth that my work is about, but I also it's not about the money. It's not about um I don't know. I get really sentimental when I let a piece go. So it's really hard for me to choose what piece to put in the auction. I do have some pieces already done, but I just don't want to let go of them. So it every time I sell a piece, it's just like I don't know. It's like a piece of me that leaves. But I mean, it makes me happy that it makes other people happy. So definitely my grandma and music would be a big inspiration and just trying new things because my grandma would do embroidery, but she would do it on cloth and I like to try new things now and I don't know, it just every time I see a needle like in my stuff, I just want to keep doing things and I just can't stop myself, especially now, with all the time that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I know we have a few current students on this call, and we're going to share this clip with our students in the advanced programs. So what advice do you have for them as they're currently going through our programming?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say just try anything new. Um, I know some people are really shy and I mean, that was sort of my situation. I was really shy and um I didn't know how to open up. The workshops help a lot, even if it's just something that you're not really interested in. Um, it'll bring you those workshops will bring you a little small piece of success. Um, you learn new things every day, and for example, I wasn't really into the music program, but I tried it out and I learned a lot. I learned a lot of things that I knew that I wouldn't have learned if I didn't go to those workshops. And just push yourself. It's not easy to push yourself, but if you really want something, you can accomplish it. And not only are the workshops good, but also like if you are interested like in other things like being an architect, being a photographer, Artworks LA opens up many doors for every student. Um, yeah, and I think just yeah, like I said, mainly go for it and
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's really good advice. You just got to try it, right? Like you said,
Mhm.
and that's why we're here. We just want students to have the option to try different things. So actually, China, as you have the control of everyone's, can we just unmute everyone and so you can get a round of applause to Yeti for being a part of this? Thank you so much, China. Yeti.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm muted. I'm not muted. Can you hear me? I'm up. Yeah. I want to give a quick fundraising update as we're doing this. So our sponsorships and contributions are now at 68,325. Our auction, which continues to grow, is now at 5,760. So we're getting there. We're at a total of 74,000. So let's try to get to 84,000 in the next 30 minutes. I think we can do that, right? We can do it. So keep flipping your screens, go bid on an art piece or contribute to Artworks LA, however you want to do it. We're here for you. We're here to accept your money. So I want to move on actually to our advanced programs and some of the work that our students are doing here. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Caroline Ashkar, who is our Creative Pathways Specialist. So Caroline, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Shelby. Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline, Artworks LA's Creative Pathways Specialist. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us this evening. So I have the pleasure of introducing one of our current Artworks LA students and advanced programs interns, Lily. Hi, Lily. How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Caroline. I'm doing great. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. So can you share a little about how you came to Artworks LA and what residency you were a part of this spring? And just what kinds of things that you've done with Artworks LA so far?
I've been a part of level 1 workshops at school for 3 seasons and a part of public presentations where I was even a student presenter. Then I started going to advanced programs and participated in visual arts workshops and creative career skills.
Awesome. And you're introducing a video that you created with other advanced program students and alumni, all from your own home. So can you give us a little intro about what we're about to watch?
Yes, this is a collaborative video project made by us students over the course of the last month about how we've been spending our days at home during this time, keeping busy, staying creative, and what being at home has looked like.
Awesome. So let's take a look at this video. Yeah, that was so great. I loved that. So over the course of the year, our students that are a part of advanced programs participate in several arts residencies, from music production to visual arts to fashion design, as well as workshops with many guest artists who work in other mediums. Students are also attending weekly creative career skills workshops where they practice leadership skills, social and communication skills, collaboration, professional development. This all happens either at our Artworks LA Arts Lab and through our amazing partnerships with educational and cultural institutions like Art Center, College of Design, Otis, College of Art and Design, Oxy Arts, and so much more. So our advanced programs emphasizes creative pathways to employment and educational preparation, and really preparing students for their next steps throughout and after high school. So in March, of course, we adapted to the stay-at-home orders and took our program virtual. So we've been holding creative career skills workshops through weekly Zoom meetings and check-ins, as well as art residencies and creative challenges for our students during this time. And we've also held a series of financial literacy workshops over Zoom with our board member and Union Bank representative, Jessica, which was really, really great. So we wanted to take a moment with Lily this evening to reflect and share about her experiences throughout our program. So Lily, you kind of touched on this earlier, but what originally drew you to join Artworks LA in the first place?
So I really like how connected the Artworks LA community is, and I started going to level 1 workshops at school. I was already talking about Artworks LA to other students and friends of mine, and I got very excited about being an Artworks LA intern. I wanted the opportunity to take a lot of art courses and to be a part of a community and participate in a team where we all have the same intentions and grow together through through creative practices. Also, when the opportunity for a student internship came up, I wanted to be an intern because it made me more motivated to go and give myself more responsibility, but also something I was doing because I wanted to do out of my own will.
Awesome. So can you tell us about a favorite experience or favorite thing that you've learned throughout all these experiences?
Getting to see Creative Career Day and seeing how many creative fields there are, the opportunities there are really opened my mind to understand that art isn't just a hobby and you can make a career out of it. That's when I fell more in love with Artworks LA programs. I felt it was really preparing me for the future. Also, meeting together with other students from different schools has been a rewarding experience.
Nice. So reflecting on our current times, what's been something that you'll always remember about this time and changing to these virtual formats and doing everything from home?
I feel that at the start of this year, my main focus was goals and visions. And during this time, I came to realization that it's still a possibility. This has actually been a great introduction into the digital world. And this moment that we're living in may seem really hard, but I've always kind of thought of this future where everything is digital. Although we're not used to it, it's something new, but it's been a perfect opportunity to work on these technical and digital skills that I can improve on.
And how do you feel it's affected your work with Artworks LA, but also schoolwork? Has it been manageable for you?
I've experienced a lack of motivation sometimes in the past. I've gotten motivation from going to Artworks LA buildings and seeing other students and what they've been doing at their schools. That's been the hardest part, I think, mentally, but I'm trying to accept how things are now and come back stronger. I do see a future where we all come back stronger, and because of this, we'll be more useful to society.
Nice. And what about future goals? What do you see as your long-term career path?
First of all, I'm really excited to graduate from high school this June. For my future career path, thanks. I want to be a computer programmer and make websites and work for companies like Google, big companies like that. I know from my experience in those fields so far that it has so much to do with being creative and artistic. Being with Artworks LA is pushing me towards that path and contributes so much to my creative growth. And seeing how others think and their artwork, it really motivates me to keep being creative.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Lily, for sharing your time and talking about your experiences and your future goals. And speaking of future goals and plans, I also want to announce that Lily's been accepted on scholarship into the Otis College of Art and Design's Summer of Art program for teens. So she's going to be focusing on graphic design this summer. So congratulations, Lily.
Yay,
it's
Lily.
super exciting.
Yay.
Yeah. So
here, a round of applause.
Yeah, round of applause.
Congratulations, Lily.
Congratulations.
It is very, very rare. The rest of us, if I have a baby.
From pursuing these additional opportunities. I think I was muted. Was I muted?
You're good.
So I'm also happy to announce that scholarship applicants also to the following. So for Art Center, we have our student Louis Tovar, who will be focusing on animation. Also at Art Center, Santos Bogarin, who will be focusing on filmmaking. At Otis, along with Lily, we'll have Hector Cisneros, who will be concentrating on photography. And at USC School of Architecture, we'll have Oscar Reyes this summer. So very exciting, and congrats to all of those students and everyone who will be going on to graduate as well. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you, Artworks fam.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations, Lily. And thank you, Caroline. You guys are doing amazing work. So thank you. Yeah. I have to just share a little behind the scenes. Lily learned about her scholarship earlier today, and we were on the call with her. And just to see her reaction in real time, it's going to take me through the rest of this pandemic, Lily. That was pure joy. So congratulations again. I would like to share, so we have a few of our exhibiting artists just like Yeti on this call. So I just want to share that if you're still checking out our auction items, we have a piece by one of our teaching artists, Carlos. It's number 217, so please check that out. Hi, Carlos, it's nice to see you. And then we also have Felix is on our call, and he's another longtime teaching artist, and his auction item number is number 288. Two amazing artists that I think you should all keep your eye on. And that really speaks to what Artworks LA is. We are a community of artists and creative thinkers. And so this next film that we want to share with you is a film by our current workshop coordinator and an exhibiting artist, Michael Alvarez. When the stay-at-home orders were put into place, Michael was really quick to respond and create a video to share with our students about how he's coping as an artist and how continuing to make work. And so we wanted to share that with you as well. And see, these are some of the things that you can also find on our Artworks at Home blog page. So here we go. Here's Michael's studio visit.
LA. See everybody in the virtual world, and I hope everybody's well. Hope everyone's friends and family are all well.
Hey Michael, it's Ben. Thank you for showing us your studio space.
Welcome. It's Michael Alvarez. What's up? For the last 2 years, I've been fortunate enough to share the space of my good friends, Chris Brand and Evan Skretterstu, who are both incredible multidisciplinary artists whose work you're going to see as I lead you from the front and the lobby area to the back of our workspace. So come on through. You're gonna see some different types of artwork, but also to notice that these walls right here, if I go into detail, they're actually painted. And this is actually a foam structure, which looks like concrete. So right here are some larger paintings done by my friends Chris and Evan. Even in between these two large paintings, this is a lamp sculpture that my friend Chris made of a plant, and it actually lights up. So yeah, just examples of like the multidisciplinary practice. Let me see one of my paintings right here. So I got a few different finished artworks laid out throughout the studio, and also some works in progress, some newer stuff, and a lot of stuff to share with you guys. So I'll just kind of like scroll around. We all have our own materials, our own supplies, and our own sections. Like Evan and Chris both have their own enclosed studio where I have this open space that you can start to see here in the back. So there are some materials that are, that are specifically ours, and then some that are used more so for the common space, further towards my space. So these are like some panels that I have primed and ready to use. So I got, wood and a little collection of saws that I use to create my panels, or sometimes, create frames. And yeah, now we can start walking a little bit further back. I have, some paintings that I have stored. I got a little storage area. And now you can start to see some of the paintings in my section. So this is a finished painting that I brought out to show you guys. So I can show you the space that I work in. There's a lot of paintings up, or a few paintings up. These are all kind of like the newer things that are either recently finished or maybe somewhat in progress. I have multiple palettes that I work on. So I got this one for the larger paintings, and I got like a little palette over here, and I also have some artwork up with some friends and artists that I like. I know some people were asking even about some of the texture. So even with that stuff, that's old oil paint that I scrape off of palettes, and once it dries, I collect it, and then it leaves some pretty cool textures. So then I just save it in bags and then collage it back onto paintings when it feels right.
So people wanted to know, how did you get that transparency effect on those figures?
So with the transparency effect with some of the figures, I think maybe it kind of started off sketching or drawing where I wanted a figure to go, whether that could have been either with a pencil, or I could have just sketched it out maybe with some oil paint. And what's cool about oil paint is you can wipe it off, and on certain surfaces, if you wipe it off, it'll become almost transparent. And you can also even rub it out with an eraser. So I think I just kind of started really kind of softer and gentle with applying the paint, because if I apply it that's a little bit more opaque or a little bit more thick, it might be hard to create something so transparent. So with the oil paint, I would just apply the paint really softly. In certain areas, I also use oil pastel, because with oil pastel, you're able to smear it, and it can also create these kind of like transparent layers. And then in some of the areas, that I think it might even be spray paint too. So just kind of like just fuzzed out, kind of softly applied, and from a far distance, a little bit of spray paint.
I also want to know, how did you develop or figure out all the techniques you use?
So it's trial and error for sure. Definitely, I've tried some things out that totally bomb. But then when they do bomb, all I can either do is just like paint over it or live with it, or try to figure out, what the next step could be. So it's always kind of like a strategy. And sometimes it is the happy accident. Well, it's always a happy accident, because no matter what, it's either, there'll be some way that it'll work out, or if not, then I'll just paint over it and start something new. And even when it doesn't work out, that's still an experience and a lesson. Well, whether it's a battle for an hour, whether it's a battle for days or weeks or whatever, it's like, usually sometimes like the strongest lessons, at least for me, are learned through that. And then usually I learn something totally brand new.
I don't remember who, but somebody also asked what kind of paint and other materials do you use in your paints?
It's predominantly oil paint, but it usually has some type of balance of spray paint and oil paint. And depending on the size, just depending on the intention of the painting, that can usually determine like how much of the percentage is oil paint, how much is spray paint, but also too, just depending on like maybe what type of effect I want to achieve, or what type of surface I want to try to capture. So, or also just how I'm feeling, it could just be as simple as just that like spontaneity. But like, so even how there's a sidewalk right here, where there's kind of like some little speckles of paint in different colors. So this is all done with spray paint. Sometimes I collect things off the floor, or I just find things that I obsess about, and I think maybe there could be a cool little purpose for this in some type of painting or something. Maybe it could have a purpose. That's the detail of it. And then from far away, I was hoping the intention, you know, maybe it could look like a car rim or something like that. That's like on the side of the curb. This is like a chipping of a skateboard. So yeah, spray paint and oil paint are usually my combination, along with paint scraping and random artifact collage.
Also, what are the main themes and messages you try to convey through your artwork?
I think maybe some of the main things, like even looking at the painting that's behind me, at least as far as.
So we're going to give you guys just a teaser of that. We have the rest of it up on our Artworks at Home page. And we actually have 2 more studio visits with our artists that will be released on Monday that you can check out as well. So I want to thank Caroline for putting that one together. And then we have an amazing intern who's with us, Sean, for putting 2 other videos together with studio visits with Man One, a longtime friend and contributor to Artworks LA and a really well-renowned graffiti artist, and as well as the sculptor Rochelle Botello. So those are coming soon too. So now I want to actually give the screen over to Alma, who's going to give us a auction items, highlight some of our items, and give us a fundraising update. So Alma, I'm going to mute myself and hand it over to you.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Thanks again to all our artists and auction donors and sponsors for helping us raise. We're at this point, we've raised $68,375 for donations and sponsorships, and our auction is at $5,875. So total, we're at $74,260. And just to dovetail to what Michael's exhibition or film was about right now, we have 2 of his pieces, and they are numbers. And maybe we can have China do a screen share. And now let's go to see some of our GiveSmart items. His pieces are, so first of all, Michael has been a longtime workshop coordinator with Artworks LA, and before that a teaching artist. Since I've been at Artworks LA, I've worked with Michael. I know him, and he's fabulous. He's like you saw, very easy to understand and explain the art he's making, and we share our love of skateboarding as well. So a lot of those elements come together in his artwork, and now he's a workshop coordinator, and he's got his own studio practice. His 2 pieces that are part of this auction are items number 264 and 265. Michael is part of an amazing collection, the Cheech Marin collection. Some of his artwork is part of that collection. He's an exhibiting gallery artist, and so if you're looking to acquire or create your collection, I would say Michael's pieces, and those 2 in particular, would be a great addition because they're both his work, his aesthetic, and then along with it shows our students. It's his work that he does with our students. So those 2 paintings would be a great representation of both Michael Alvarez's career along with Artworks LA and the Heart Project, both together commemorated in those 2 paintings. Then I would also recommend our alumni, Blanca Martinez, whose work is also featured. She's also being a longtime contributor towards our auction. And you all know her from all our previous Little Docs. She's amazing. She's an amazing photographer and creative person, very articulate, and she works over at Film Independent, where she's been there for a while now. We also have 2 pieces from our presenter, China Monforte, items number 279 and 280. Check those out. And we have some amazing accessories from our alumni, Ceci, entitled Amarte Creaciones. And those are pieces number 302 through 312. And I also want to remind everybody, if you don't see anything here, there's something for everybody. We have some quarantine specials while supplies last. And so those would be, I think, at the very end. They're, I would say they're multi-purpose use. And they would keep everybody very, very happy during this quarantine era. Yeah, that's it for me. Check it out. You guys have any questions? Anyone has any questions about any of the artwork? Please contact Guadalupe Rivera. She put this all together for us this year and garnered some amazing artwork pieces. So thanks to everybody, and we look forward to receiving more of your donations and support of our students, and so that we return back to school in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alma. I just want to point out, in our auction items, you don't even have to leave your house, because you can get beautiful artwork from some of our students, our teaching artists, our network of artists, and then you can also grab 12 rolls of toilet paper and a bottle of wine. You don't even need to leave your house. We are a one-stop shop. So thank you. Thank you, Alma, and thank you, Lupe, for putting all of our auction items together. And I also want to say hi to Peter. I know that he's on the call. Sorry, it took me a minute to figure out your name. So hi, Peter. Thanks for joining us. Hi. So that concludes our program. We are ending right on time, because what this does is gives you an hour to check out our online auction and go and bid on those last pieces for just a few more, actually for 65 minutes, and then it will close. Just a little reminder, we have been recording this call and we're going to share it out so you can share it with other folks who weren't able to attend. We also will share the links when we share this email, the links to all of our films, to our Artworks at Home blog, so that you can stay connected with us. We're really excited that our students are going off to participate in summer scholarships, even though they might look a little different from traditional summers, and that we will be back in the fall, whether it's through distance learning or in-person learning with all of our students and all of our schools. So I'm really excited that, you know, despite all of this, like, Artworks LA continues to move forward, and really we are not going anywhere. So that's really exciting. So thank you everyone so much. Again, thank you to our sponsors, to our donors, to our contributors. We couldn't have done this without you. This really is, you know, it takes a village to keep a nonprofit and your children afloat. That was a horrible ending, but I'm gonna go with it. So thank you everyone. Have a wonderful evening. There we go. There's our supporters. And I love that we see all your names. Oh my gosh, so much fun. So thanks all, and have a good evening. Go bid on those pieces, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks all. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
You can unmute yourself now. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Peace.
Bye.
You're all amazing.
Adios. Hasta luego.
Take care, everyone. Sending positive vibes.
There's my mom, you guys. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, the video on now that you're going away. I didn't get ready for this. So.
Lily, thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you, Lily.
Do it.